Welcome, Cancer. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot, getting ready to do your full moon in Pisces reading. This is the actual date on the West Coast when we are experiencing the full moon. I saw the beautiful, creamy full moon as I was out in the garden this morning, just above the horizon on the West Coast. So, such a beautiful, inspiring sight. This is the last blue moon, meaning there were two full moons in the month of August until 2037, which is about 14 years. So there is something special about the energy and the opportunity that we all have to raise our vibrations. And I'm going to start your reading, Cancer. Your overall energy is the Queen of Cups, completely appropriate for you. This is a card that represents your energy, whether you're, whatever your gender. The energy of the Queen is one of reception. You are a wide open antenna for all kinds of feelings, emotions, thoughts. You are naturally compassionate, and you are super compassionate and attuned to the variety of energies, not just from individuals, but from literal matter, the earth, energy of animals, invisible spheres and entities. You are feeling incredible levels of information, feelings flowing through you from the universe. And they are supporting you to experience where you are now, to reassure you that you are opening up increasingly. Your heart is growing. Your heart is fuller than ever. This can translate into a lot of the ability to forgive others who have completely betrayed you in some ways, others who you see them for their fears and their lack of development. And you accept them. You surrender to their experience of the world and even their unkind treatment towards you, their dismissal of you. However, you see through all of that. You are the bigger person, and there's a strong message around silence at this time. You cultivating your silence. You're certainly speaking when it's needed to speak, but you're realizing that the thoughts and feelings of others, particularly those that are obsessively talking about those feelings, you see beyond that. You see the need for nurturance and support and acceptance, and you are overall forgiving yourself. Strong message coming through. In the moon position, we have the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands is beautiful. This is the energy you're bringing into the situation. You have long been gathering your strength, asserting your presence, your expression, your experience in a situation, and you are now have gathered the confidence to look towards the future, to begin to plan an opportunity, create an opportunity where you can grow, where you can expand, where you can move outward into unfamiliar territory. This can be simply contemplating leaving the domestic environment that you've been surrounded by, or leaving it in an effort to explore the possibilities elsewhere. You may be doing a lot of traveling. You may be entering into conversations with others who have done what you are now contemplating, inspired. They are inspiring you, and you are looking for inspiration regarding the direction that you would like to move into. In the position of the Sun, we have the Devil card. The Devil has a powerful message for us at this time. I sense that you are able to see those patterns, those choices that you have made throughout your life that have limited you. In many ways, these choices have been around staying close to family members, familiar people, or environments in which you felt a sense of structure, safety, routine, and you are now recognizing that much of the choices you've made have not freed you, have not secured you, but instead have limited you. And this is about really cleaning up yourself in order to accept and recognize the better choices available, the courage of your own convictions, rather than fending off the ideas or the desire of others to impose their rules or their ideas about living, about loving on you. And so you are really going through a very intense, I would call it a detoxification. This is a level of your healing where you've been involved in your own healing for a long time. In fact, you've been assisting many others in their healing naturally, perhaps all of your life. But at this point, you're really turning inward to look at those conventions you cling to, those structures you cling to for security that have underserved you. And you're recognizing that you need to purify your own personal body, lifestyle of those things that prevent you from standing up for your own beliefs, asserting your own sense of structure, your own need for stability, your own responsibility to yourself. And this has been a lifelong challenge for you. I see it as a beautiful opportunity. It certainly is feeling hard. As a Capricorn, the Devil card is sometimes indicative of the Capricorn energy. I understand this energy of hard, tough, barren, brutal, unfeeling, cold, calculating. But at this point, those qualities can be turned to your good. How can you calculate a shift towards responsibility for yourself? In the present, we have the Four of Swords, and this is the confirmation indeed, if you needed one, that you are in a deep state of healing. This is, as of course many of you know, this is not something that happens automatically with the change in the moon. This is something that's triggered into your self-awareness, your elevating consciousness about the control you have over your own life. So you are really understanding more and more deeply those elements of your life, those elements of your disappointments, your failures, your hardships, your challenges that have really been necessary to get you to a place where you are able to courageously understand how your spiritual foundation has shifted, how it is fundamental and allows you now to be grateful for the difficulties that you have and that you do endure. You understand the purpose now, and that forms the basis for your meditation, your prayers, your journaling, your dreaming. There's something about dreams that's coming through to me before this reading, and it has to do with living in your dreams consciously and unconsciously. And when I mean unconsciously, I'm thinking about your dream life and how that may be shifting, how that may be less and less the familiar people in your dreams, familiar scenarios, into perhaps scenarios that seem unpredictable, unexpected, or unfamiliar to you. or a scenario where you may be helping someone else to attain something that you want and you're being pushed aside. And my sense is that this is about your unwillingness in the past to stand up for yourself, and how you have perhaps caved in the face of the obstacles and difficulties you've faced, the failures you've experienced, the rejections you've experienced. And that is something that you are consciously and unconsciously changing by opening up your heart to the myriad levels of awareness and existence that you are perceiving. In the past, we have the Knight of Wands. And the Knight of Wands is about your confidence, your inspiration, the inspiration that you're receiving and you are acting upon now. You're looking for those things that give you ideas and new directions, new inspirations, certainly new associations. You're you're exploring and discovering in ways that are helping you to envision a future, a different future. And this is empowered by your not openness in many ways, your heart's openness, your willingness to allow in the information that you're receiving, even if it is unfamiliar. It is certainly inspiration in a way, and this is where your intuition is tuned all the way on so that you can receive these inspirations that you are in fact seeking. In the future, we have the Five of Pentacles. The Five of Pentacles is coming up for a lot of us. I believe that this is about the sense of lack that you've experienced in the past, the sense of being outside of the circle of the favored and fortunate. And in some ways, the labels you've received through your familiar communities of support have limited you, and you have continued to be attentive and loyal to those conventions, those traditional ways of seeing you, understanding how others could see you that way, even if you knew that those labels were limiting. But your loyalty perhaps to individuals, perhaps to the conventional or traditional ideas, the need to conform is finally something that you are releasing. You're recognizing that you don't have to follow anyone else's rules, even if you've done it for a long, long time. You're now seeing the truth of the way in which you have limited yourself as a result of that. So there's a similar message here that you are moving into a place of seeing many of the errors of your ways, if you will, ways that you have aligned yourself with things that haven't worked for you, don't work for you. You don't even share the values of this particular group or team at this place. And you are now acting, having the courage to act on the values that you actually see living through your life and your evolving awareness. I'm going to clarify the Four of Swords in the present with the Ten of Wands and the Seven of Wands. Indeed, there's a lot of physical exhaustion. There's a lot of weariness. There's a lot of, I won't say depression, but there is a sense of soberness about this reading, a sense that you no longer are buying into some of the ways that you've been seen and that you bought into the limitations that others expected, but you're also releasing those, and it is a tremendous amount of work. You're really dropping and have been dropping those obligations to others that have been built on someone else's need, someone else's desire, and not your own. And this has been really psychically hard for you to do. And it's taking a lot of physical energy. You might find yourself sleeping a lot more, or certainly wanting to sleep a lot more. But this is to a very important end where you have indeed carved out the space that belongs to you. You are owning your own ground, your own turf, your own expertise. You are saying no to things that you once said yes to. And just the process of saying no can be so deep and so challenging at many levels that this is something that is emerging out of this time of a lot of inner work. And that is the ability to simply speak up for yourself, tell your story, insert your voice where you believe it needs to be, defending your turf if necessary, but really knowing that now that you are willing and able to tell your story, that you are in fact moving towards a liberation of sorts. This is where, despite limiting, setting boundaries opens up the freedom to be who you are authentically. And there's an interesting illusion in the way we attach ourselves to various aspects of our relationships, our bonds that we've created. And this is you having faith in yourself that the bonds that are essential to you will stay with you, will be with you, that the sense of empowerment that you are struggling for, you are carefully plotting, carefully measuring, making sure that what you do moving forward is correct, is best for you, tending to the details. There are a lot of retrograde planets in the sky, and this is something that is in keeping with the general energy as we are looking, reviewing, moving forward, making plans to move forward, reevaluating. We are careful to do things correctly. Even small details that are misunderstood, misapplied, can cause you to have to go back and do it over again. So it's not as though there's a wrong step. There's simply, you are learning to measure up, perform to your own expectations, which you're fully aware of, how things need to be done. Even if it's a learning process for you, you can feel when you're moving ahead correctly to the place of greater empowerment. Definitely protect your health here, Cancer. I feel you a little bit vulnerable through your own efforts at working very hard to heal yourself. And I'm pulling a crystal oracle, and I hope that if this reading is resonating for you, you will like and subscribe. I forgot to announce in the beginning that I'm developing an extended reading from this reading, and there will be a link in the description box below. So I pulled the fire agate, and the key word is creativity. I allow the creativity of my soul to shine through into my world. That's such a beautiful picture of the fire agate. And I'm also going to pull a Soul's Journey card for some extra support. And I've pulled adversity. I accept the challenges and are the best way to learn. There you have it, Cancer. I look forward to seeing you at the extended reading. If this is where we part, until next time, namaste.